Folks, let me tell you the truth about what's actually going on in the market, and then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending March the 5th, 2025. I hear from time to time people saying, the market is back. It's crazy out there. You know, I'm working with buyers and sellers across the GTA, in Peel, in Durham specifically. That's what this show's about. And, you know, I guess I just want to explain what's really happening out there. So when people say the market is back, things are on fire, I've been in situations where we're working with a buyer, we'll put an offer on a property, and then we find ourselves competing. And so just from that one situation, do we conclude, holy smokes, there's buyers competing on a property and it's happening everywhere? Depending on where you are and depending on the price point of what you're buying. I'll give you an example. This is real life example. Right now we're working with a buyer in the Durham region. They're looking to buy an entry-level detached property. $1 million, 1.1 in that price range. It is extremely competitive in that price range. It seems 3 out of 5 listings will be listed with an offer date strategy, meaning the price is lower than market value, and then there's actually 4, 5, 10 offers on offer night on that property. And if that's all you're looking at and that's all you see, you're going to think, wow, it's pretty competitive. What's going on out there? I thought the market was dead. And then you're going to say, market's on fire. Well, digging deeper, more of the reality is sales are fewer sales in general. And if we use the previous years as our, I guess, in comparison, sales are low. Sales are extremely low right now. We would expect with the amount of offers for that one property type, the amount of properties being sold with a offer date strategy, you would expect market's on fire. Well, there's a bunch that aren't selling. You move just a little bit outside of that price point and properties are sitting there. I'm working with other buyers in different price points, and that's exactly the experience. Properties are sitting there. There's way more properties available for sale today that are not being sold than past years. Way more. But if you just have just that tunnel vision and you look at just one situation, you're going to say, hey, the market is on fire. The market is not on fire. Even on those offer nights, on certain property types and certain price points, it's not like before where they were getting so much over asking. And many of them don't even sell on offer night and they get relisted. So I wanted to dispel the market's on fire. You could find a property that you like. It could have all the bells and whistles you want. It could be the perfect home for you. There's a good chance if it's a good home for you, it's probably a good home for other people. But if it's a specific price point, like an entry-level detached property, whatever entry-level price point is in the neighborhood you're looking at, because entry-level detached for Durham, for Mississauga, and for Brampton, those are different price points for an entry-level detached. That part of the market, for a good home, it's pretty active. But in that same price point, if the home is not as desirable, it's not so active. And there's many more undesirable situations, undesirable properties out there than those very few that people are competing with. But again, If that's all you're looking at, just a few where there's competition, you're going to think the market's on fire. There's something else to consider here also. If you find yourself in a situation of competing, or you hear that somebody else competed and they end up getting that property and they spent 100, 200,000 over asking, which we're not seeing too many of that. We do see 50 over list price, 100 over list price. That doesn't mean 50 or 100 over market value. That just means more than list price. And list price was already put out there artificially lower than what the market price is. Because on these properties that are listed with an offer date price strategy, you offer what it's listed at, the seller isn't selling, which I know drives everybody crazy. That's another story for another day. Just because it's an offer night and somebody bought over the list price, what's really important is how close to the market price are they? If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description is a link to my calendar, or you can go straight to tsre.ca. My calendar will be there. Pick a date and time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, we want you to check out at the end of this video, this awesome townhouse. It's over 2,300 square feet. The link will be on the screen. Let's get started. We're focused here on detached properties, well, data for detached properties for Mississauga, Brampton, and for Durham. For Durham, we're using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as our Durham sample. We're going to start off with Mississauga. We're trying to find trends, trying to find, which way are we seeing prices and sales going. For week ending March the 5th, 34 detached properties were sold. 7 of those were at $2 million or more. Now, 7, if we look back, we've got a whole year on the board here. 7 is a pretty strong week for property selling at $2 million or more in Mississauga. 34 is also not so bad. I mean, we've got it when we go all the way back to July. 34 is a decent week in sales. Now, I've put an arrow like sales are trending upwards. I don't know if that's actually the way they're going, because they did go up, then they dipped down, and maybe now they're starting to go up again. We would expect sales to be increasing as we get into the spring market, however. Average sold price, it was trending up, and now it kind of looks like it's going the other way, trending down. For week ending March 5th, average sold price is $1,467,000. 1,467, 6% lower than where we were in the same week a year ago. The median price is 5% lower. If we look at the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. And since February, kind of looks pretty flat actually. Sales of the 34 that sold, 26%, so about a quarter sold at list price or more. Listings, the orange, that's this year's listings. The blue is a year ago. Way more listings this year than a year ago. Active listings is on the rise. Months of inventory, because sales went up, months of inventory's come down. We're now at 3.6 months of inventory. That's for Mississauga. Here's Brampton. 36 detached properties were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. I put a question mark here. I can't figure out which way, if sales are trending one way or another. Kind of flat overall since the beginning of January, actually, I would say. Although this week, average sold price is down from the previous week to $1,163,000, Before that, I would be saying average sold price looks like it's been trending upwards in Brampton for detached properties. So let's see how that one develops. Compared to last year, 1163 is 2% lower. The median price is 6% lower. The dotted line, the 4-week moving average, both for average price and median price, does show that prices are trending upwards. 36 were sold. 22% sold at list price or more. Active listings are up, trending upwards. Way more listings this year versus a year ago. Months of inventory down a bit to 4.9 months of inventory at the top end, basically, of a balanced market. Here's Durham. So Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. 40 detached properties were sold. One was at $2 million or more. It's pretty clear to see sales trending upwards, but we're looking at 2 or 3 or 4 extra each week. It's not like a steep climb up. Average sold price up a little bit from the previous week to 1,141,141,000. That number is 2% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is $1,087,000. That's 7% lower year over year. 40 were sold. 68% sold at list price or more. There's lots of competition in the Durham region. It's as far as properties selling at list price or more, the amount that are even offered for sale that way with that kind of pricing strategy where they have a price, but it's a low price for the property, and then they have an offer date, more percentage-wise as far as all listings go, more in Durham than anywhere else. 100 were listed. Active listings is rising, and months of inventory starting to drop. Well, not starting, it's been dropping for a while now, since the beginning of February. It's now sitting at 2.1 months of inventory. Durham region, especially for entry-level detached properties, it's one of the most competitive areas of all the GTA. Here's a quick summary. In most cases, you will experience a balanced market. There'll be parts of areas where it will be more of a buyer's market. You'll see quite a bit of that in Brampton, but then you're going to get to areas like Ajax, Pickering, Whitby, and there's going to see lots of competition. We competed on a property representing the buyer. There were 6 offers on the property, and that's commonplace right now in lots of parts of Durham. Now, check out the awesome townhouse that we have listed. Have a great day.